Hey, what's up, you guys? It's your girl JoJo, and I am here with a special video. Happy Saturday. I hope you guys are having a great weekend so far. I actually just got home, and I watched a couple of episodes of a new show on Netflix called Blood and Water, and I saw a couple of other people doing a review of the entire series of the show. But I think I'm going to break mine up into 3 episodes per time. I haven't watched all of it yet. And that's another thing because I don't binge watch shows from beginning to end. I just don't. I like a show to last. So I usually don't do that. But I plan on watching the other episodes probably this week because I am going to be braiding my hair between today and tomorrow. So I'll probably finish it at that point in time. But the show was interesting enough, and you guys know we still are sometimey with this whole coronavirus thing, so a lot of film crews aren't getting together to film any shows. So I think around this time I would be reviewing either Ready to Love or Love and Marriage Huntsville, or it would be around that time for those two to start coming back on, and I don't know when the word is going to be on filming for those shows, so I'm not sure when I'll be reviewing them. I do know that Ready to Love is going to be in Houston because they did a casting call for it last year. Somebody invited me to the casting call, but y'all know better. Y'all know better. I would not be in no casting call for Ready to Love. So anyway, yeah, I wanted to talk about the first 3 episodes. I will be doing like an in-depth review of the first episode, and then everything else we're just going to talk about like the major issues. I know y'all have seen me in a shirt like this before. It's not the same one. I have it in 3 colors. I love this shirt. Okay, so this show is about a family, but it centers mainly around one girl, which is the daughter, the middle daughter, and her name is, I don't want to say it wrong, Poolang. The show starts out with Poolang looking like she is in deep thought, like she's very upset, but you don't really know what she's upset about. You see things in her room and you can tell she's into, creative expression, poetry, writing. There is a Sylvia Plath quote up on her wall that says if she could just stop thinking, she would be okay, or something along those lines. And I was like, girl, you and me both. But she's a deep thinker, so we learned that immediately about her. Her brother comes to get her, and they are actually celebrating the birthday of her 17-year-old sister, who has been missing for 17 years. She was stolen, I'm guessing, at the hospital right after her birth, and they have not seen her sister since then. But they still get together with other family and friends to celebrate her birthday. And so right before she gets up to the cake and she's about to blow out the candle, her mother tells her, make sure that you make a wish for your sister. We also learned that the father is not living in the home currently. They call him Baba. And him and the mother are having some type of marital problems. The little boy is concerned. Poolang is being the big sister, comforting him. But at the same time, you can tell she needs some comforting as well. She doesn't really know what's going on. And she's kind of feeling some type of way about them constantly having these birthdays for the sister. And her and the brother don't even get those. I mean, at least the brother. He's the baby. He doesn't even get those kind of birthdays. So you can imagine at this point in time having to constantly live in the shadow of somebody who's not there anymore. And that has always been something that I've wondered about. When you have a missing child, or a child that may have passed, or just a child that's not there anymore, how does it affect the relationship with your other children? Because I imagine that you always kind of miss that child and you long for that child. It's different though if they're missing versus if they pass. Like if they pass, you can kind of close that chapter. You had closure on it. If they're missing, there's always like this hope. But I always wonder how the parenting dynamics work in those situations. And now we're kind of getting to see. So she ends up leaving the house. Her and her mom get into it. And she leaves the house. So her friend Zuma, I think that's her name. Hope I'm saying these names right, y'all. I'm sorry. Her friend Zuma has been inviting her to a party. She told Zuma no at first. She couldn't go because, it's National Day of Mourning for her sister. But then once her and her mom get into it about the cake and the party they have every year, she leaves out the house. Now, I don't know why she didn't pack any party clothes to change clothes in the cab or the Uber. Not saying that I used to do that, but I'm not sure why she didn't pack any clothes, because they get to this party and everybody's dressed, including her friend. Everybody got on their party clothes, and Pulane looked like me. Okay, I have that exact same sweater. I have pants just like that. And I don't know if that makes me childish or her mature, but either way, we got the same clothes. So she looked like she was about to go to work, because I would wear that to work, yellow Nikes and all, y'all. I'm real relaxed on the business casual. My manager always kind of just smirking at me. So anyway, they go into this house party. You can tell Zuma is her lively friend, her very not flashy, but I try anything once type of friend. There's some drinking, some underage drinking going on. That happens with your rich, popular kids. I can remember when I was in high school, I was always shocked at the things that my cheerleading friends could do and the places they could go, and they would be getting drunk over the weekend, and I would be like, how do y'all get drunk? Like, I barely can go to the bathroom. How are y'all able to get drunk? Honey, my mama did not play that. If she didn't know your mama, you wasn't going. So yeah, they live a little different than the rest of us live. But she gets in the party. She doesn't know anybody. These kids are clearly rich. I mean, there's a list for the house party. Her friend goes off with this guy she met, and the guy is doing a little face in the place. Shout out to Roxanne. And Pulane walks in on it, and she just like, look, friend, I gotta go get mine, so I'll come find you when I'm done. I said, God, Zuma, how you gonna invite her and then ditch her? But okay. When she's at the bar, she has this chance encounter with a young lady who helps her to get a drink. And the girl's really pretty, has on some interesting eye makeup, just a very pretty girl, and seems to be very nice. And she appreciates it. The girl introduces herself, I think she said her whole name, but I'm going to just say her name is what they called her in the show, which is Feeks or Fitz. These names. I'm sorry. I know I'm not saying them right. Fix. And y'all, anyway, she introduces herself, right? And so, after that, she kind of is always looking over at the girl, right? And so this is when we get introduced to who this character is going to be. So then she's sitting on the couch, a phone rings, it's somebody mama, somebody named Wade. She go to find Wade. Wade in trouble, you better get your butt home. And Wade wants to know more about her. He's going to look her up on Instagram. That's what the kids do, y'all. I was out taking a jog one time, and this guy, cute little Asian guy, I could tell he was young though. He caught me on the tail end, and he was like, excuse me, I don't want to be disrespectful, but you think I can get your Snapchat or your Instagram? And I was just like, Snapchat or Instagram? See, just how you know I'm old. He young. And I wanted to be like, baby, first of all, I'm too old for you. I can tell by what you're asking for. And second, I'm sorry, I'm already with somebody. And he was just like, oh, okay. I mean, I was just wondering. I was like, okay, Snapchat, Instagram, I'm interested, but I don't want to crowd you, I guess is how that's going. Y'all let me know, young people. I don't know. So, anyway, yeah. What was I at? See, I hate when I get off like that. Okay, so she finds out that the girl who spoke to her at the bar is actually her 17th birthday. And she's looking at her. She's like, her birthday is today or during the week. And Wade tells her it's today. So now she's like, dang, my sister's birthday is today. And Wade said that me and this girl, Wade was taking pictures of her. He's a photographer. And he said that they look similar and that they have similar features. And she was like, this girl got similar features. And she's 17 today. Is it a coincidence? I think not. So now she's kind of develops this obsession with finding out if this girl is her sister, because she looks kind of like her. She feels drawn to her. Is it a coinky-dink that her birthday's around the same time? Like, I need to get closer to this girl, right? So that's pretty much what a whole story is going to get started. So now that I've introduced you to the story, now we can just talk about just some of the other things that happened in the first 3 episodes. So what later on ends up happening is once she's introduced to these kids, She goes back to her school and she's constantly lost in the thought of figuring out who this girl is. Even her friend was like, child, if y'all trying to get y'all fur baby on, I won't judge. And she was like, I don't like her. It's just something about her. And we find out that she has very rich parents, and she's super smart, and she's on the swim team, and she's excelling in everything, and everybody likes her. She's popular, she's beautiful, and she's perfect in a sense. And Pulane is obsessed with her, not because of all those things, but because of who she might be. But everybody else on the outside thinks she's obsessed because she's just so perfect. Okay, so when she goes to school and she's lost in thought, she's supposed to be playing rugby. She ends up scoring for the other team, ends up fighting with a girl on her team when they get in the locker room because the girl was upset that she pretty much threw the game. Pulane got a lot of misplaced energy, so she just like, let me tell you something now. Don't say nothing else to me. She called her a Neanderthal, and she went to fight her. The girl tried to scoop back from the fight. She dragged the girl by her legs to give her a little bit more. That's how you know you angry, when somebody telling you no more and you bring them back. So she proceeds to fight the girl. She gets in disciplinary trouble. She tries to go do more research on the girl she believes to be is her sister at a swim meet that she's having. And because she went to do that, she ends up missing her disciplinary hearing and gets in a whole lot of trouble when she get there. So when she finally gets there, her daddy go off on her and say, you're going to be on punishment until your suspension over. Give me that phone. So she hands over her phone. They're walking out of the school. I know I'm going quick, but I'm trying to get to the other stuff. And when they walk out of the school, she is surrounded by police officers. Oh, see, this is why I'm going too fast. I forgot to mention that the reason why she got in a fight in the locker room was not only because of what the girl was saying about the season, but also because the girl told her, maybe your dad should have sold you like he sold your sister. And there apparently has been news articles out about her father being involved possibly in the disappearance. So that's where a lot more of her energy came from, right? Once she learned that. So she ends up being surrounded by police, and they take her father into custody. And this eventually leads to her switching schools due to the embarrassment, of course. So there's a couple of things I want to talk about here. First of all, aren't you glad that you did not go to school during the rise of social media? Well, I did go to school during the rise of social media. Aren't you glad you didn't go when social media was the biggest? Because a lot of stuff that we went through in high school, fights, arguments, drag out, all of that stuff, a lot of that stuff was okay because it wasn't filmed. And you could kind of handle it and manage it and in your own time, in your own homes. But when social media became like this huge phenomenon, and of course people were taking pictures, people were recording fights, but you didn't have anywhere to post it. Like I had actually had a picture of this girl who got in a fight one time, and she threatened to fight me because I took the picture. I'm so glad she had to change her heart because I ain't no fighter. But yeah, we kind of got to deal with it in our own time. Now these kids, your father getting arrested, everybody's filming it outside of the school. You get in a fight, everybody's filming it. You get in an argument, everybody's filming it. Like, it's like you have no time or no period where you can go through your childhood experiences or your teenage experiences privately, or at least amongst your peers. The World Wide Web gets to find out about it, and that's really disappointing. So, of course, I understood why her mom took her out of that school. Now, we know Pulane, she has alternative motives because she's going to go to Parker where the rich kids are so she can find out more about this girl and do her investigation. Another thing that I wanted to point out or wanted to talk about was the breakdown of the relationship between her mother, and her father. Her father getting arrested for allegedly being involved in some type of trafficking or the selling of the children, what have you. Her father having anything to do with that was information that came out a long time ago. And now it is coming out again. Okay, so when they talk to Pulane, they pretty much tell her, well, we didn't want to tell you guys about it because we didn't think that it would be good for y'all, and we didn't know it was going to come back out like this. And that's the thing. if I'm not a parent, I know it's hard to you don't want your children to see you in a negative light. Like, that's something that my mom has always said to me, like, I don't want y'all to look at me different, or I don't want y'all to look at your fathers different, when it comes to telling us stuff that happened in relationships or anything like that. But I think it's very important to discuss certain things with your children so that you don't break the bonds of trust that you all have with one another. Because if you didn't tell me this, what else have you not been telling me? And you also don't want other people to spill your family secrets and your family information when you could have just outright told them. You could have already had them prepared. Pulang's a teenager. If she goes on the internet and type in her sister's name, all kind of stuff could pop up, right? So it would have been best for you to tell her, especially in her teenage years, look, some things happened back in the day with your sister. They tried to put your dad into it. It wasn't true. If it ever comes out, I just wanted you to know about it, right? Okay, so there's that. Now, is the father involved? I don't want to believe that because I feel like it's too easy. But I believe the father may be doing business with people who were involved in his child being kidnapped. And he may be too afraid to speak up about it. But I'm not sure. Y'all have to watch it and tell me what you think. But keep it real with your children if you can, because it really does help. And it helps them see you. When my mom started telling me stuff, it helped me to see her in a different light. Because now I understood more of what she was going through, the pain she experienced, or maybe why she behaved a certain way about things. It just helped me understand my mom better when she started being a little bit more real with me. What else do we need to talk about? Okay, because I'm not reviewing the other two. I'm not reviewing the other two episodes. We're just going to talk about some things that happened. Okay, so episode 2 is where her investigation gets into full swing. So she's trying to find a way to cozy up. She ends up joining the magazine society with this girl named Wendy. Wendy is the epitome of the social justice warriors that people talk about on the internet. She embodies that. I think she's supposed to be that character for us. Everything has to do with something else. Everything is big. Everything is dramatic. And I love Wendy for her passion. Hate Wendy for... How can I explain it? I don't like Wendy for making things that are not about her, if that makes sense, right? She feels like there's a divide between the popular kids and, the not so popular kids, and they don't have to work for anything. There's a way to go about every situation that you have. Because just like you feel like the popular kids don't have to work for anything, some of these other schools might say that none of y'all have to work for anything. And Wendy's not poor. Like, her parents are well-to-do as well. So she doesn't act as snooty as them, but she also has been afforded some things as well. And I think to make up for the fact that she's been afforded those things, and so that she doesn't look like a snob like everybody else, she makes sure that she's very conscious and very aware. And there's a place for that. I definitely believe there's a place for that, but it shouldn't take over your entire life to the point where you don't know how to have friendly interactions with people and ignore the small stuff. And I think that's kind of where Wendy is with hers. So when she joins this society, she gets closer to the girl that is supposed to be her sister by doing an interview with her. For head girl, I guess it's like student body president. And she does an interview with her, and she opens up to her, and she tells her a story. And the story gets the girl to open up about how she almost drowned, and her parents put her in swim class, and that's how she became such a good swimmer. And it's funny because the story that Pulang told wasn't true. She just did that so the girl would open up. And so Wade is kind of looking at her like, yeah, that's kind of scary that you told that story on the spot. But we have to keep these things in mind about Pulang. Pulang is, a host of surprises, contradictions. It's a lot of things that Pulang will do to get what she wants and to acquire the goal that she needs to acquire, even if it involves a whole lot of lying. Even if it involves stealing, because she also took her mother's car to order a DNA test. I don't know how she's going to explain that once her mother finds out. She's lying to Wade about where she is and what she's doing because she's actually hanging out with the cool kids when Wade has, asked her, does she want to spend some time? Wade clearly likes her, right? Wade actually likes her. And as we can see, there's a possibility that Poolang is going to make the mistake of liking the cooler guy who has a little depth to him, but he hides it behind, I'm the cool one, I got the weed, I have the parties, but he actually has a lot more depth to him that people don't see. But Poolang sees it and she's vibing. And then you got Wade, who had initially approached her first, kind of helped her get into the school. Cool dude. And, I don't know if his feelings are going to be reciprocated. So I felt kind of sad about that. But, I think we all, especially when you're young like this, we are all guilty of, liking somebody or chasing after somebody that may not necessarily be the best for us, which I don't know. The popular guy don't seem that bad. He actually just seems like he's pretty chill, but in comparison to Wade, I'm sure people see the parallels, and I'm sure that was done on purpose as well. So Wade, he might get his heart broken, and then we'll be setting him up to be in somebody's comment section in 20 to 25 years complaining about the girl who curved him in high school and how he's going to get revenge by a lifestyle of pumping and dumping and, SHITing on these hoes because he don't care about them instead of going to get the therapy for the healing that he truly needs for his ego and his self-esteem. But you ain't heard that from me, okay? That was tea and shade, but I'm not saying I know people like that, but we know people like that. But yeah, and then I've never. This is a side note too. I never see the point in why people bring that up. Like if you are still upset about stuff that happened in high school, that deserves a counseling session. Like seriously, and you just you ain't everybody cup of tea. Trust me, okay. I've liked plenty of dudes that would be considered corny per se. I think there's a range of cool, of like thug and corny. There's a range in the middle. I don't know why we forget that range, but I've been guilty. I've liked those guys, and I'm thinking too right now that we're going after girls who they did not need to be going after because them girls is not feeling them. And I was just like, well, okay, hey, that's fine. And I had moments where I was going after dudes that was not trying to fool with me. You got to learn your lane. That's what it is, and it take you some years to learn your lane. And baby, I learned mine early. Early. So anyway, all my friends used to be like, you just picked the weirdest dudes today. Well, whatever. That's my lane. I'm weird too. So, yeah, we think Wade might get his heart broken. So, she's hanging with the cool kids. She almost get caught trying to get a tampon out of the trash can, you guys. Ugh. So she can try to DNA test it. She had got desperate. She'd been trying to get a bottle. She can't pull a strand of hair because it's clearly a wig. Not funny, but it would have been funny if she tried it. She done tried to get her drinking bottle. She tried to get the tampon. She can't get this DNA, so she could try to run this test. She ends up asking the girl a bunch of questions about where she was born. The girl doesn't remember. The girl doesn't really have that many photos in her infant time. She doesn't remember a lot of stuff. She doesn't have the information. She gets desperate enough to where she tries to steal the girl's birth certificate out of the office, and Wade ends up catching her. Now, Wade was going to turn her in because Wade already been pissed off at her for telling lies, for not keeping it real with him, for sneaking around, okay, for being low-key obsessed with this girl because he doesn't know why at this time. He tried to warn her that the article that she did the interview for, interviewing the girl for head girl, that Wendy went in and changed it and trashed the girl and put Poolang's name on the article still. And, Poolang just been too preoccupied with her research, but her research has also turned into her becoming one of them. And one of the things that the girl said, one of the girls in her class said when she first got there was, don't lose yourself. And that was the warning. And I think that was the warning for the viewers too, that Poolang was going to lose herself not only in trying to figure out who this girl was, but also in the glamour and, you know, the rich kid life. And it's like an episode of Mean Girls, and she's gonna get caught up in it. And it's unfortunate, but it does happen to a lot of people, especially if you have this desire to fit in. I've noticed that happening with a lot of children, a lot of teens. I've seen it happen even with some adults, where people just want to be included. I wouldn't say that I've experienced those things, but I know people around me have. I was always cool with just the girls that I hung with. I never really wanted to roll with any other girls. But I can say there are people in my family who kind of, they've done things to kind of fit in with the crowd that they're with at the time. It's like they're always looking for somewhere to belong. And Poolang definitely struggles with belonging. She's been the weirdo all her life, and you know, it just feels good to not be that. And she doesn't want to be ostracized in that way again. So once her and old girl are on the outs, due to the article, due to the retraction that she didn't do, all of this other stuff, she's desperately trying to get back close to her. Not only to find out if she's her sister, but also because I think she just really wants to be a part of that life. She reveals to Wade what she thinks, and now Wade is going to be her helper. So listen now, I'm really hoping that Poolang is appreciative of Wade, and if she don't really care for Wade, I mean, you're attracted to who you're attracted to. I wouldn't call her a bad person for that, but I just hope that she doesn't get a whole bunch from Wade and then kind of just be like, well, oh well, you know, thanks for your help, I don't want to talk to you ever again. And just realize that, girl, you in high school, you ain't got to choose between either one of them. Okay, they not your husbands. You get your grades, get your studies. Okay, y'all about to go to college and all that, child. Ain't none of this stuff guaranteed. Okay, get in them books. All right, everybody else, just, you know, be cool. Be cool on that. That's what I would advise any high school girl, honey. Boys is, like Judge Tola say, them boys can be for later, because they'll get your head messed up. They'll have you not going off to college. Okay, you'll be sitting at home, going to tech, waiting on them, or going to school with them, only for them to break up with you when you get there, child. I done seen some things. Okay, so focus on your books, but this isn't a real story. I'm just saying. So yeah, the dad does end up getting out of jail, but we still side eyeing the daddy. They think they find a girl who's a match. She's not a match. And Poolang is going to go head first into investigating if this girl is her sister. And then I'm going to review the next 3 episodes and talk about a few things. I feel like this was a little rambly, but y'all know I'm rambly. But I'm going to do a lot better with tightening it up. I was just trying to get y'all, see what your thoughts were. You guys let me know, do you feel like the father was involved? Please, no spoilers if you already watched. Also, what do you think about Poolang? Do you like her? It's like I like her because she's coming into her own as a teenager, but she doing a lot of lying and she being real sneaky, and I don't know if I like that. Right? Because in a minute it's gonna be like full on manipulation, and I don't know. All of it's not for finding out who the sister is. Some of it is for her own benefit, and that's the part about her I don't like. What y'all think about Zuma? I think Zuma is plenty of fun, but she needs to be very careful with this pansexual young man that she likes. I don't want her to get her heart broke. And yeah, I felt like there was a little bit of classism. A lot of classism. That was uncomfortable to watch, but it's a real thing, so I was glad they showed it. They definitely look at Zuma differently than they do at Poolang. They feel like Poolang has the potential to be one of them, but Zuma is just kind of somebody that they laugh at, and I wasn't feeling that. So anyway, y'all, that's it, because I'm almost at 30 minutes. Like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see y'all for the next one. Okay, bye.